She is still extremely timid and fearful, so I can't feed her and she won't come out and interact if the dog or the other cats are around. Sit! Because if I hold out the treat, obviously Sylvester and Toothless, we will definitely come to me first and fight for it, and then Sophie won't get any. So let me just find a position. Okay, I'll just put you on this chair over here. Okay, so now this is a clearer. Let me just, I'll give her one first. I'll give her the catnip one, just so she knows that I'm here to give her food. I'll let her smell it. She's not eating it yet. Come on, Sophie, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. She is really scared. She is really, really scared. But here you go. Can you see her? She's really dark. Probably have to get the camera closer. This is catnip flavored. It's treats. It's okay. Okay, she's run away. I'll try to video. This is her here. She is really scared. I've been trying to interact her one-on-one since last night, actually. I wasn't smart enough to figure that out earlier. But nowadays I just close the door of the study where the cat tree is. This is her safe place. Under this hammock here and in this hole is where you usually find her. So here, I hold out the treat. I guess this is a new treat, so I don't know whether she likes it. Here. I'll move my hand away. Are you gonna eat it, Sophie? It's okay. There we go. Now she's chewing it the way you should be. She might actually be old enough to be desexed now. I'll probably give the vet a call to check, desex her, and if no one's gonna take her, I don't know, maybe the best option is to release her back into the wild. She was really thin when I first got her. Anyways, you're a healthy weight now, I believe. Let me try feed you a salmon one. Do you want to try a salmon one, Sophie? Let me get you a salmon one. Oh, I can't open this with one hand. Okay, so I got the salmon one out of the pack. Oh, this one's a bit smaller. Here, Sophie, will you eat from my hand now? Yeah, this is a salmon one. Is it yummy? Here's a clearer picture of her, sort of. Oh, it is still quite hard to see because she's so black. And it's kind of darker in here. Even though she has the same color and body as Toothless, the fur is a little bit different. Her one's a little bit longer. Come over here, come up here. Her fur is also smoother for some reason. I don't know whether it's because she's a little bit younger than the males. But other than that, I think her cheeks are chubbier, making her a little bit cuter and more feminine. Hey, are you a cutie? Okay. Another salmon. Which one do you like more, Sophie? The salmon one seems to be a bit smaller for some reason. Here, on the paw. Do you want this? Oh, I guess it's also she's under the shade because you can't really see. There are just so many feral cats and cats needing to be rescued, that I haven't been able to find a home for her. All the places that I've called, they're full, but thankfully more people have been giving me a bit more contact, so I'll definitely reach out to them. I'll miss her though, but yeah, she doesn't seem to be getting used to me that much. She's been here for like a month already, and she's taking way longer than Sylvester and Toothless to adapt to this surrounding. Okay, this is probably the last one, or else I'll get roasted from my viewers saying you're giving too much treats in one go. You're giving gentle treats to kittens. I don't know. Are kittens allowed to eat these gentle treats? I don't know. As long as it's cat food, right? I mean, the feral cats outside, like, residents give them like fish bones, like cooked fish bones, like, and they just eat rubbish. And I saw a cat like biting a pigeon, like a live pigeon. Anything is better. Living in here is better than living outside. At least you're not hissing at me now. You're licking my finger. Oh, biting my finger too. Sophie. It's okay, Sophie. You're a chubby cutie. Chubby cutie. Oh, her eyes are actually a little bit different to Toothless as well. If you look closely, her eyes are a little bit brighter. She's got more of a blue around her pupil rather than green, which green and yellow is what Toothless has, I believe, and she has a little bit of blue-green. Look this way. I want to see your eyes. Can't really see. I can't even focus on it because it's so dark in here and I can't tap my phone. Anyway, do you want a catnip one? Okay, last one, catnip. See, it seems to be a bit bigger or something. Here, come out a little bit more this time, eh? Come out into the light. Come out into the light. Here. Come here. No, takes the food and goes back in the darkness. This mouse has a little bit of catnip in it as well. Does it smell the same as what you're eating? She was playing last night. I made this toy myself. I bought the toy and connected some rubber bands so that it'll bounce, and it's a little bit of a different texture, and combined 2 chopsticks. Those are one-use chopsticks, and sticky taped it, and it bounces everywhere, and she loves this toy. Last night she was running around with the 2 boys. Anyway, that's enough. I was gonna come home, unbox the Pet Circle package that I got, share a bit about what I read with my husband today, and I was gonna walk the dog, but I think it's sprinkling again. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong side. It's very cloudy outside. I was gonna walk the dog, but then I realized I haven't even shown you guys where the feral kittens live, so maybe I'll do that, and I'll share my link again with the cat pages on Facebook so that more people are aware of the number of cats that are out there. I've actually de-sexed 5 cats out of the 11 that are outside. That is actually a really good record, and Kitty Commune has been really good with helping out with some of the costs of de-sexing and vaccinating. There's still a few to go, and this one kitty, which needs to be rehomed. She was very, very thin, and she was being bullied by the other kittens. But now she looks a bit stronger, she looks chubbier, she looks healthier. She's a little bit less timid than initially. Yeah, I don't even remember how I ended up catching her. I think with like a carrier or something and some food lure, but it's really hard to even feed her because she's one of the timid ones. She hides, and the other people, like the other cats, bully her, and she's unable to get the food that she needs. So I'm pretty reluctant on releasing her back into the wild, but I guess what can I do if I'm unable to find anyone and I can't keep her? Hello, Sophie. She's a little bit more comfortable now than when I initially entered into the room. So it's progress, it's slow progress, but we're getting somewhere. She's really good with the toilet though. Even though the toilet isn't right here in a safe place, she does go out of her zone to go into the bathroom, which I've put the little box in. So that's really good. And thank you for that, Sophie, for keeping the place clean for Mummy. Oh goodness. If she starts liking me, I wouldn't know how to let go of her. I'll probably end up keeping her like Toothless and Sylvester. I didn't plan on keeping Toothless and Sylvester, but they won me over. I don't know, but 3 cats and 1 dog, that's a bit too much for me. Yeah, and for my husband as well. Well, thanks for watching. I could take you guys down to where the other feral kittens is, but I could also leave it for another vlog. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow, guys, okay? So stay tuned. Yeah, that's enough cats for this video. My hubby Terry and I were reading a chapter of this before I left, the marriage makeover. So we were reading chapter 6, Change, and what stood out for me, for us actually, we wrote it down. We're talking about changing perspectives and stuff. I won't go into detail with this book, it's actually too many words and stuff, but we did write a few notes on what we wanted to change in our lives, and this is one thing that Terry shared with me on WhatsApp on one day when he went to work, and I guess he had a bit of time and he wanted to share something encouraging with me to edify my faith. So it's actually from Galatians 6. Let me see, Galatians, doing good to all, brothers and sisters, not this one, like carry each other's burdens. So Galatians chapter 6 verse 9, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So here it's not assuming that we always have the ability and the strength to do good, but rather it is acknowledging that at times we grow weary, we feel tired, we don't wake up every morning and feel like, yes, like I have all the energy and I have all the motivation to do good to everyone, but rather sometimes we wake up, actually a lot of the times we wake up and we are so stressed about what we should be doing, what we should not be doing, fulfilling the expectations of our work, of our family, of our marriages, and it just becomes very like down our list of priority in doing good for others. We just end up doing whatever is the easiest, or whatever we need to do, or we feel that we should, or whatever is closer to the deadline. But here it's like encouraging you that you should continually do good to others, even if it's like, even if the other person doesn't treat you well, even if the person is rude to you. For example, if you're driving down the car and there's rage drivers and they're giving you the rude finger, rolling down their windscreen, swearing at you and things, like just doing good might not be like an action that you take, but rather having a perspective that you acknowledge that that person might be going through something bad, or like having a really bad days. I mean, yeah, and just like not getting pissed and responding to them in an emotional way, like what we feel the urge to respond straight away. Because I mean, if they're rolling down their windscreen and confronting you and stuff, like you would like automatically want to self-defense and want to like shout at them back or like react to their anger, but rather if you have this passage on your mind and you're meditating on it and trying to do good to others, because you know that God will eventually repay you for the good that you have done to others, and that if you continue sowing the good seeds, perhaps like a plant will spring up one day, and then you can see like the harvest, like you can see the harvest that you reap. You can reap the produce, so the produce of your perseverance over time. And lastly, when I asked Terry where this passage came from, just talking about it after reading that book together, I just asked him, remember when you shared with me a passage that said, let us not become weary in doing good? Where did that come from? And he told me, oh, Hebrews. And so I came home today after he went to work. Hebrews, he said Hebrews 4. So now I went to Hebrews 4. Obviously, it doesn't come from there. But when I read this, I felt that it would be very encouraging for me to share, and a very good reminder for myself as well. Here it is, chapter 4, verse 14. So the reason we do good to others isn't because that person deserves it, isn't because we're good, because naturally we are not good. If we are naturally good, then there would be no need to persist and persevere and not tire out from it, because then naturally we would just be doing good all the time without even trying if we were naturally good. But the fact is, we are naturally bad, and we are inclined to be self-seeking, to be finding things for self-gratification, for self-exalting. We are selfish people. We don't think about others above ourselves a lot of the time. So that's why I believe we need the Bible, God's word, to change our hearts, to reprioritize what we do. And I think that this is very useful for us. So it says, the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of him whom we must give an account. But that wasn't a passage. That was a sidetrack, my bad. So chapter 4, verse 14, it says, Jesus, the great high priest. But are we reading from here? Therefore, since we have a great high priest who has ascended into heaven, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to the faith we profess. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way just as we are, yet he did not sin. So let us then approach God's throne of grace and confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. So pretty much talking about doing good to others, we find the strength from God, and a great encouragement that God has given us is Jesus, the Son of God, who came to be a human being, and he has set us an example. He is constantly doing good to others as he was living on this earth. He was reaching out to people who were rejected in society, the sick people, the lepers, the people who were considered unclean, the people who were despised by society, the tax collectors, who were charging people way over what they were meant to charge so that they could profit from it. So Jesus was eating with them and approaching all of these things, people that a lot of people would just look on him and be like disapproving, but he continued to do good, and we know that the result of that is, he is exalted by God and now sits at the right hand of God. But anyways, that's not my point. My point is that Jesus understands, because he has been on this earth as well. He was tempted in every way. He understands everything that we go through. He knows that sometimes we may get weary in doing good. That's why, he tells us that, he has mercy and grace to us as well if times we fail and we can't do good. But know that it's okay if you can't do good one day, or if you just end up doing something bad. I know I'm talking very subjectively. Good and bad, it's like a whole different topic that we can spend ages to talk about and define what good and bad means. But I'm just talking broadly to get my point across is, even though at times you may fail, that's okay. Jesus understands that it's really hard, and just, it's okay. So just you can just move on and just continue doing good. So it says don't give up. So even if you trip and you fall down, just stand back up and keep doing good. It's like sowing seeds. If you have like some apple seeds, I've been playing Animal Crossing, so if you have some apples that you want to sow, you continue sowing it, and maybe some of them might not like spring up. Maybe apples isn't a good example. Maybe some like flowers or something in Animal Crossing. Maybe you might sow a flower, sow another flower, and you keep sowing and sowing, but they don't produce like a hybrid that you want it to produce. Just keep doing it, and eventually one of them will pop up. But if you don't do anything and don't change the way that you do things, and you don't persevere, then nothing is going to happen, and you're not going to reap any good produce at the end. So that's my sharing of the Bible today. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your support. If you ever have any questions, feel free to PM me. I am not perfect myself, but we know, or I believe, that Jesus is perfect. And if you need help with anything, I'd be more than happy to pray for you. I'd be happy to read the word with you, even if I don't know you. And that is purely because God tells me to do good, and he has given me an example to do good. It is not because of me being good myself or wanting to do these things, but I now want to do these things because he has set me an example, and I want to reap a good produce. But anyways, thank you for watching. That's the end of this video. Please give the video a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to continue seeing me post every single day. Yeah, sometimes it gets a bit tough posting every single day, but I will not give up on doing this, and I will continue tackling this even when hard days come up. But anyway, peace out.